Trucker Power. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about diesel fuel. Um, if you're an owner-operator or a uh, have your own authority and you're running trucks, I'm going to show you a little thing that I did to kind of figure out how much my fuel consumption is per week. I run like 9 states uh, around Chicago. From Chicago out, like 9 states, I think, something like that. So what I did is I put together a chart and of these states, and I looked up on an app that's on my phone that I get from my factoring company that kind of gives me a breakdown of where I can purchase fuel and get the best price. So what I did is I made basically on this chart to where it's price per gallon, then price times 100 gallons, because that's normally what I buy. I don't know if people do more than that. I never fill my truck up as a rule. So I usually 100 gallons because that's 800 pounds approximately. So anyway, so I usually get 100 gallons. So then I show you the price for the 100 gallons, and then the 100 gallons times 5 days, because that's normally what I run, 5 days. I do sometimes 6, so it could be more fuel. But that's saying that I'm running hard and I'm putting on at least 500 miles a day because my truck uses I get about 5 to 6 loaded, and I got a freight. So I wanted to show you, and then as I show you the chart, you're going to see the the things that I do, because I think this stuff's important for you to save a lot of money. And I'm just one truck, so I can imagine if you had 10 trucks, how much money this can accumulate to. If you have drivers that are driving your equipment, maybe it'd be a good idea to, as I talk through on the chart, show you some difference in stuff. Maybe you need to have a talk with your drivers. I would definitely boycott Indiana. Definitely got to boycott Indiana because they're ripping you off. Without a doubt, Indiana is ripping you off, and I hope they don't come and or hire Hillary to get me. But when you look at the numbers, it'll make sense to you. And like I said, you had 10 drivers, it's huge. I can imagine if you had 50 or 100 drivers. So here's the chart, and I'll go from there. Okay, from my spreadsheet, you can see Missouri, and I pay $1.84 for Missouri. So if I buy 100 gallons at $1.84, it's $184. So if every day I buy 100 gallons, which most of the time I do, I spend for 5 days $920. That's if I was to buy my fuel every day only in Missouri. So then Wisconsin is the same, $200 and 2.04, so it's just over $2 a gallon. So if I buy 100, it's 200.4 and 1,002 for a week. Tennessee is the same, then on down to Illinois. Okay, Illinois, I pay 235.9 a gallon, and if I buy 100, it's $235.90 or $1,179 for 5 days. So if you compare, that's what this is doing here. This line here is compares this state to Illinois. So if I buy fuel in Missouri, I save $259 for a week, and that's quite a bit. If I buy from Indiana, which is my biggest complaint, it costs me $90 more a week. So that's almost 50 gallons. So I mean, that's quite a bit actually. So I'm even if I buy it in Ohio. I save a little bit in Minnesota, $10 a week. I save 30 in Kentucky, 50 in Iowa. I save $100 in Tennessee, but my biggest Wisconsin, I save $177 for the week. But the biggest savings, of course, is if I bought fuel in Missouri. at $259 in savings. So to me, just looking at the chart, it tells me don't buy any fuel in Indiana because $90 a week is quite a. I mean, if you're looking at it as a breakdown by the day, you're looking at $20 a day. I know that doesn't sound like a lot when you look at it that way, but it's still $90 is $90. I mean, that's quite a bit of money. So Indiana being the highest, and then you got to figure. And I look at the IFTA. It's not worth paying the extra price of fuel. Indiana should come in line with everybody else. You truckers should not be buying fuel in Indiana. I've seen some places in Indiana. I know when I looked on my chart, it showed Indiana at 253, but I seen 269.9 the other day. Depends what part of Indiana you're at when you're going to get fuel. I mean, at 270 a gallon, it was almost 270. If I change my sheet, I know it's quite a bit. I mean, what would 270 be? That would be $170.50 more at that price. That's too much. I mean, so if you travel like me, I always start in Illinois, of course. I run a lot of Ohio lately because it seems like the zone from Ohio, I can get all kinds of work running in Tennessee, Kentucky. They do have a lot of stuff going in Virginia and PA, which I don't go there because of the tolls. So I like running like the Midwest area, so where I don't have those humongous toll prices and stuff. And it to me just makes more sense and it's flatter ground. My truck's a 2006, so it uses I get about 550 or 6 per gallon miles per gallon. Versus I know some of you new guys get 8.5. Oh yeah, okay, whatever. But so for me, I need to save all I can. And when I hit the mountains out east, it really sucks the fuel down. It takes a lot longer to go where you're going. I mean, it's just it's a lot. I mean, so for me, it's not worth it. So if I was you guys, and I mean just and I know that saving money is a definitely thing. Either try to route yourself to Missouri, Wisconsin, Tennessee, Iowa, um, and stay away from Indiana. If you pass through Indiana, make sure you have enough fuel to make it through the whole state, and then end up paying the IFTA tax. But the IFTA tax won't come to much. You're better off to pay a couple pennies, maybe $20 or $30, for a quarter, than pay $90 a week more. And that's 90 saying that it's only 253, which is a wrong price. According to my app, that's the price, but that's wrong because I see most of the times they're 265 and above. So this ain't exactly right. So your loss is more than that $90. So if I was you, so it's just more practical. Don't buy fuel in Indiana. They think they're smart, being so high like that. They should all be down. I mean, think about this. If the price in Missouri is $1.84, and the price in Wisconsin is, if you go to Quick Fuel, if you go to Quick Fuel in Wisconsin, you'll pay that $1.84 or something, and I get like a 2-cent discount, which is not a lot, but still under $2 a gallon diesel. Come on, you can't beat that. So I mean, route yourself that way. If that's why a lot of times I'll take stuff going to Minnesota because I know I'm going to run most of my distance off through Wisconsin and I can get that cheaper fuel. You got to save all your pennies. I mean, you do, because this is, and a lot of people, what they'll say, and this is the wrong part, is they'll say, hey, Jim, it's tax deductible. Your fuel is your tax deductible. But you know what? Just like tolls to run the East Coast is $200. Yeah, tax deductible. Diesel fuel, tax deductible. But let me tell you something what tax deductible means to an owner operator. Tax deductible means you're taking that money from your profits. So if I buy my fuel in Indiana and I buy it 1 day a week, I'm going to spend my $20 more. That's going to be tax deductible. So that $20 comes out of my profit. If I don't buy it in Indiana, and I make sure I have enough to go through to, say, if I'm running to Ohio, Ohio's the same price as Chicago, so I don't lose that $20. I could take that $20 and buy me a meal, almost. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, that's just for 1 day. So if you think about this, which I didn't put down here, the prices for a whole year, could you imagine the savings doing this times a year? That cost is this. It's gonna cost you $4,680 for a year. That's one truck. Where I can save over what I would have been paying for by buying fuel in Missouri, almost 13,500 I could save if I didn't buy it out of my base. You're gonna have to buy some, but if I kept routing myself to St. Louis or stuff out in that direction, I would save a lot of money by avoiding Indiana because of their high costs. It's a lot of money for one truck, 4,680 extra dollars a year. That is a lot. And that's saying that I only do 5 days a week. A lot of times I'm running 6 days a week, and I might run Chicago, Ohio to Tennessee, back to Chicago, and then do that triangle, and keep doing that triangle over and over and over. And that's what I did last week. So I mean, gotta save that money. Tax deductible? Yep. Of the money that's your profit money. I don't care how they look at it. I had that argument with one of the guys I was leased on to. I'm running the East Coast. He goes, take the freaking tolls. I go, they're $200. He goes, that's tax deductible. I says, oh, okay. And then as I was thinking about it, I was going, wait a minute. If it's tax deductible, I am still got to pay that $200 out. That $200, if I didn't take the tollway, would be profit money. I don't care how you look at it. It's profit money. So just think, I mean, and this just using the figures that are there at $90 a week times 52 weeks is quite a bit of money. It's like $5,000. So that's $5,000 more profit for Jim. And it's not like I'm making $500,000 a year. I'm not. Because don't forget, your fuel is probably 30 something or 38% of your cost. And then your maintenance and a lot of other stuff. So, I mean, that $90 a week times 4, hell yeah, that'll do my oil change every month. So, if I was you, I would look at my chart, figure it out yourself, get the prices. That's what I did. I have an app that my factoring company has. So, on there, it shows me, which is kind of nice when I'm traveling, it'll recommend the cheapest place in the area that gives me the biggest discount on fuel. And do I use it all the time? Hell no, I'm stupid. But I do use it sometimes, but I need to use it more. But anyway, so I just wanted to show you that there is quite a bit of savings skipping just Indiana for me. And I'm sure if you figured out the routes that you go through, you could come up with a table of your own and see where you need to skip buying fuel. It's not so hard to go through Indiana without buying fuel. Just you got to make sure that if you're going to go to Ohio from Chicago, you got to have enough to make it through Indiana. which usually if you fill up at your home base, you're going to have enough to go through Indiana out of Chicago. And just make sure that when you get to the cheapest state, so on here it would be Tennessee. So it would be the cheapest would be Tennessee, the direction I'm going. So when I get empty in Ohio, try and get something either out of Kentucky or out of Tennessee coming back, so I can maximize my savings. And again, by calculate it's where you got enough fuel, yeah, get back. I mean, it's really not that hard to do. I mean, you know what your truck gets per mile, so for me, it's a no-brainer. And a lot of times, and if I got stuck to where I actually was lazy, hello, and I do get lazy to where, you know what, I don't feel like stopping and getting fuel, frick, man. And then I get almost through Indiana, and I have to stop for fuel because I was lazy and stupid. So what I do is I just stop and I get 25 gallons because that'll take me at least 100 miles, depending on how far. And usually that's usually about the minimum that I'll buy is like 25 gallons is close to $100 though. So I'll buy 25 gallons of fuel, just enough to get me through, and then I'll say, you know, I just lost some money there because I shouldn't have did that, but that's being lazy. So try not to do that because there's going to be a lot of savings. Because you can just think if I plan my trips and I can get a lot of moves going down to Missouri, that's a huge savings. And well, Wisconsin too. But Missouri would definitely be a huge savings if I can get loads run into Missouri and back, and always buy my fuel in Missouri and get pinched because Illinois is not going to. They're not going to if to tax me. That's my home base. So you're gonna qualify for that. So that's it. I mean, this is something to look at. Don't buy fuel in Indiana. If you buy fuel in Indiana, you're gonna get it. Don't make me get mad. Just kidding. But really, I mean, that's a lot of money just to throw away. It's not my fault that they're jacking the fuel price up so high. I mean, even the other places, if you think about the fuel and you look at Missouri at $1.83 versus Ohio at 2.23, I mean, it's 40 cents difference, and it's the same product coming from the same damn place. So what is the reason for that? Oh, maybe their highways are better. I don't think so. Especially Indiana. Jesus Christ. They got the worst freaking roads, and they got the highest diesel fuel price now. So anyway, I wanted to bring you this stuff here. It's something that a lot of people just don't think about. They always think about, well, when I'm traveling, I'll try and get the cheaper fuel. Dude, don't buy Indiana. Plan on it. If you're going to go through Indiana, don't buy their fuel. Screw them. And usually when I do that, that means I don't buy anything in Indiana. I won't buy no food. I won't buy anything. The only thing I'll do is go to the washroom. But I mean, if you buy Burger King or something like that, or whatever you're going to do, I mean, but that's not. So for me, Indiana loses my $300 because usually it's close to $300 when I put fuel in my truck. So you're losing $300 every time I fill up if I'm going into Indiana. So you're screwing yourself. But anyway, save some money. Look on the chart. Chart your own stuff out, your routes, and try and. If you're an owner operator or like me, I got my own authority and I got my own truck. So for me, it's a no-brainer. Wisconsin, Missouri, got to buy my fuel from there if I can. That's the place to do it. So I try to route myself to take loads that way. Try and save some money. Truckers, remember, power to the truckers.